Okay, happy Monday, everybody. Good morning. It's a lower body day. Today we're focusing on our lower body strength and our core today. For equipment, I will be incorporating a couple of specific things, including this chair right here. Of course, I have options for those of you who do not have a chair or a bench or a stool or an ottoman or something that you can use like that. The other thing, in addition to the chair that I will be using, specifically, is this towel. We are going to be working with some hamstring curls and some of our 3-point extensions, sliding this towel on the floor. Now, I understand that some of us don't have that option available, so that is another one that I have, that you do not need the towel or the sliding tile or hardwood laminate floor. In addition to those two things, I have my mat, my 8-pound dumbbells here, and then my loop bands. This guy's here. I'll be giving you guys a few options with the long band, but I'm not going to be using it specifically. Okay, so let's get you started down on the floor. So get down here with me. We're going to lay down on our side with our bow and arrow. So you can join me down here on one side, starting with whatever side you like. We're going to take our top leg here and weave it underneath the bottom leg like so. We'll stack our hands, our shoulders, everything on the floor like this. And then we will cross our body, trying to keep this knee, this hand down, cross all the way, try to touch the floor with his hand. We'll reach up and over the head, reset, and do that 5 times on this side. Oh, it feels so nice after all of the not too much activity probably that we did this weekend. This is going to help us loosen up our back, our hips, chest, shoulders, the whole entire body as we go through 5 per side. Now, I'm bending my arm over here. If you have space, you can extend your arm straight. We'll do 5 on that side, and then you can switch. And I'm going to actually turn around so I can still look at you, and we'll switch and do the other side here. Same thing on this side, exhaling as we cross, and then again, reaching up and overhead. I wish I had a little bit more room here, but you know what? It's what we're working with. We're in Nutcracker Haven for a few more days. Then I might clear a little bit more space out. So we'll go through 5 and 5, and then we shall sit up into the 90-90, the infamous 90-90 position that we know, we love. Maybe we don't love it, but we know it. We've been here almost every week because this is one that we have to do on a consistent basis in order to get better at. So we'll see what's going on here, sitting in this 90-90, flipping the legs back and forth. We know the drill. If we need to make this more comfortable, we can lean back and put our hands down and use our arms and hands. But the goal is to do this with no hands. So we'll see what's going on here today. Going back and forth 10 times total, trying to see if we can get both of our hips on the floor and keep our feet in place and maintain that 90-degree angle. In the camera still, yes I am, 90 degrees at both of the knees. It rhymes. So we'll do 10 of those, okay? And then we're feeling a little bit looser. We'll stand ourselves up to the top, come up to the front of our mat here, standing hip width apart in the feet, hands down by our sides. We'll step back into a lunge, sending both of our arms above our head as we go down into that lunge. We'll alternate legs, right side and then the left side. And we'll do 10 of these total, just lifting our arms up. 10 of them. Once we're done 10, don't go too far because we're doing 10 more, but the next 10, after these 10, are going to have one turn in at the bottom towards that knee. And then we will come back up and switch. And we'll go through 10 now like this, trying to keep our arms as straight as possible. I just saw myself in the camera there, my arms were a little bit bent. So we will straighten out our arms. You need that little reminder. And we will do 10 total of those ones alternating, so 5 per side, not 20 total. Okay. Lunging it out. Very nice. Okay, so as we are finishing up that one, we are going to stay in the same soft knees, nice strong posture. Sticking the butt out, keeping the arms above the head until we feel a stretch through the back of the legs. And then we want to think about squeezing our butt and lifting ourselves up to the top, going through 15 of these total, where we're going for a stretch at the bottom here, and then we pull up with that squeeze. You should feel your back side working on every single one of these 15 reps. We should never see our hands because our arms and hands are staying above our head. And if you see your hands, your arms will most likely drop. So we'll keep those guys lifted up. It's gonna be a little harder than it looks. We'll go through 15 of them. Okay, as best as we can. You got it going on. 15 total. And then, what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna go like this. Okay, so 15 to, again, hamstrings, back of the legs. Next one, we are going to incorporate that towel that I talked about there at the beginning. Now, again, if you do not have this towel, completely fine. You're gonna follow along doing the same extension here, just lifting and tapping your foot on the floor rather than sliding your foot using this towel, or that actually kind of works there just with my sock. But I have this towel folded up here like this. I'm going to shift all of the weight into the leg that is not on top of the towel. Same positioning with that knee. We want to keep it straight but soft. We'll hinge our hips back. Same position. We should feel tight here. And then we want to extend this leg out 1, 2, and then behind us, I need to move forward just a little bit here. So we go side, 15 reps on this side. Now you'll note that my entire body is staying completely still. And I am leaning forward if I turn to the side here to create that low feeling in this standing glute. So we'll try our best to get that going on. Again, if you don't have the towel, we're going to just lightly tappity tap that foot like this. And we'll count at those 15 and then we'll switch and do that on the other side. This one is all about warming up, waking up your glutes, which you are probably feeling most likely, maybe even after that hip hinge that we did. So we'll do this on both sides. 15, 15. We got our helper down here. This is Dusty. So we'll get you guys going on through those ones. So once you're done that, we will switch back to the first side. Take that towel and switch it back again. If you don't have a towel, we'll just switch the feet. Now for this next one, last one here, we're going to draw circles. So we'll go 10 circles through whatever range of motion we have without affecting this position in our body. So if I'm moving my foot out, if I'm reaching my foot out too much, I'm most likely going to have some movement going on. So we know that we're reaching too far. So we'll go through as big of a circle as we can, trying to stay still as possible, 10 one way, and then 10 the other way. Again, all about that standing leg. I know this one seems a little like that moving one should be the working leg, but it is the standing leg where we should feel all of that work in your backside, your glute muscles, your butt muscles, and we'll do that on both sides, okay? Be conscious of my space. I'm just gonna hold that right up. That is better. Okay, so we'll do this on this side now. 10. Okay, the circle is really just a distraction. It's making this leg work and essentially balance and hold still while you do those on both sides, both ways, of course. All right, should be warming up. Should be. So we have one more to do. The last one is all about waking up, warming up your core muscles. We're gonna get ourselves onto our back, into our dead bug position. So come on down here, join me on the floor. We're going to need a little bit of space in front and behind us. We're starting off with our standard dead bug, the one that tests our coordination. So we wanna lift our arms and legs up like this, 90 degrees of knees. Arms are straight right over the shoulder. Back is tight into the floor. That is the most important. You know this. We'll lower opposite arm and opposite leg, and then lift them back up. And then exhale, switch sides, lift them back up, and try to go through 10 of these total opposites, not moving the two that are staying still. So we don't want everything moving like this. We want to lock those two in. You might have to think about it a little bit, and we'll go through those. So back tight. If you want to challenge yourself a bit more, you can straighten out that leg rather than keep it bent, and we will go through 20 of those. So 10 per side. What is this screen? There we go. Very nice. Okay, yes, coordination 101. All right, so 10 of them, 20 of them, sorry, 10 per side. I keep going back and forth between 10 and 20, but that's okay. We are staying down here for the second version of this, where we're gonna take the palm and the knee and push them together. And then now we'll go through just that one side, finishing off with 10 of these ones per side. So again, trying to exhale as we send that arm and leg away. Inhale as we bring it up. We'll go through 10 now here. And by this time, you should be really feeling your core and ab muscles. So we'll get that going on both sides, 10 and 10. Woohoo! And then you can stand up, grab yourself some water, and we are going to do the first 2 exercises. Okay. All right, my friends, nice work. So you can stand yourself up once you are finished those dead bugs. We are going to get you started here on our first exercise. Exercise is 1. Just setting our timer here. Because we're working off of a timer for the first part. Okay, so grab yourself some water if you would like. We are going to move on. We started with split squats. The good news is today, starting with them, they are in here with a standard goblet squat. So we're going to be holding a weight in the and squatting off of this timer here, which is set for 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off. So we're doubling the amount of work that we are resting. We're going to be working for a minute, resting for 30 seconds, squatting for that minute, taking that 30 seconds to just shake it out, ponder our lives. We're 4 sets total of this, and then we are going to move on to the next 2. Okay, so in terms of weight, like I said, I would like you to hold something in the front here, front loaded. If you have dumbbells, I'm going to be using both of my 8-pounders, holding them here like this. Okay, if you have lots of weight, you can go upward to 20 to 30 pounds in your hands here. But your first set is really going to be your tester set. You'll see how this feels because we're doing this for a minute, which we learned last day, again, if you were here, that doing any exercise for a minute is a lot longer than our average sets, even if we're doing 15 reps, okay? So keep that in mind when you are choosing your weight, and at any point, if you need to make it a little bit harder or easier, we're gonna talk about all sorts of ways to do that. So let's get ourselves into that squat stance. Feet a little wider than our hips. We want a slight angle out in our toes, and we'll grab that weight and put it up here, getting ready to start in about 5 seconds. If you have bands instead of weights, you can band up your knees. You can also do that in addition to your weights if you would like a little bit more glute work in this. Okay, ready? We're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, and here we go, squatting. All right, so we have our weights in our front here. We're sitting down to 90 degrees and then standing all the way up to full extension at the top. So we ideally getting down to here. We don't have to go lower, but we want to try our best to get down there so we're not sitting above. We want that 90-degree angle at the knee. And normal tempo, okay, 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Although that is what we can play if we want to make this a bit more challenging within this minute. A couple things you can do are slow down the way down. So we take longer to get your butt down to that 90-degree, okay, same tempo on the way up. Or you can sit down and pause, okay, and then stand up. So we have 15 seconds left of this first set. Now this first one's not gonna be too bad, okay? Forewarning. You might feel it a little bit, okay? Starting to creep up on us. 3, 2, 1, and you can put your weights down, okay? Like I said, you have 30 seconds now to just rest. So we're going to take this rest. Woo, feels so good after those squats. Now you do have 3 more rounds of that. I want you to assess your situation. You should be feeling worked. You should be feeling like you need this rest, okay? So first set, maybe not so much. We have 3 more opportunities to make this feel more challenging for ourselves. So pick up your weights because you are starting in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Okay, so again, if you want to add a bit more time at the bottom here, if you're like me and you're kind of stuck with lighter weights, I only have these 8-pounders, okay, and I don't want to band up, I just want to keep my bands because that's just what I prefer, then I would take some time at the bottom here, spending maybe 2 seconds, and then standing up through each rep. Okay, second set. There it is. Okay, so we're halfway through this. Like I said, the band around the knees, great option. It's going to pull the knees in. You have to make sure you're pushing the knees out getting a bit more work in the hips and the glutes. And you can do this with the dumbbells, or if you don't have dumbbells, you can do it instead of. Okay, a couple more. You have 10 seconds left. Squats, squats, squats. Starting us off. 3, 2, 1, and we will rest. Nice work. Okay, so that was our second set. All right, so we have 2 more rounds of this squatting for 60 seconds. Okay, so we're trying to make this challenging. Squat. The squat is a very strong exercise, and I know for a fact that whatever you're holding in your hands, whatever you're using for your weight, I know you can squat heavier than that, okay? So let's try our best to make this set feel like we're holding something that's way heavier than we're actually holding, okay? We're going to do that by simply thinking about it more, slowing down, pushing our knees out more, being more active in those leg muscles. Just as I talked about in that warm-up, how we did that hip hinge, we were going down, and then I wanted you guys to squeeze your glutes to lift yourself up. And then down here, we're going to squeeze and lift ourselves up to the top. 30 more seconds in a set. See if you can feel that. Okay, because I can't really help that. No one can help you with that. That is something that you have to think about and do for yourself, that contraction. 20 seconds. There we go. Okay. So we're breathing through these ones, exhaling up. 1 more rep. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right. We have 1 more set of these squats, and then the first set. All right. So 1 last set here. We have 15 more seconds. We can push our get out. Okay, but that's really not that much time. So let's pick up our weights here, get ourselves ready. So we get this entire minute for these squats, starting in 3, 2, 1, and let's do it. So last set of them. And trying to slow the way down, staying consistent to whatever you did in your first to do. And this is your last set, your last chance with these ones. You have 30 seconds left. Let's get it. There it is. Okay. Just over 20 seconds. We'll have 3 more reps, maybe 4. Taking our time with them. Feeling all of the things. 10 more seconds. Okay. And you are done in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Okay, so we are going to now put those weights down, unband if you're banded up, grab yourself some water. Hopefully you're feeling good, nice and warm. If you weren't warm already, our warm up, we are going to be moving on to the next part, which is onto our split squats. I told you they were coming, and here they are. So we're going to move on to these guys where we'll need something to elevate our back foot. Now, ideally, we want something soft like this, like the top of this chair here. And what I'm going to do as well, just as a precaution, is push my chair or whatever I'm using up into something just so that it doesn't slide out from under me, okay? If you have something that's pretty heavy and stable, not what you need to do, but this chair is like super light and it tends to kind of slide, so I'm going to just slide it right off the bat. So split squats. Now, we're going to start off our split squats body weight, okay, because we're doing something a little bit different in these split squats. We're not just going up and down, and it might be just challenging enough body weight, so we're going to start off here and consider this our warm-up set. There is going to be options to add weight, add resistance into it, but I want all of you guys to join me here getting ready to split squat with just your body weight, okay? So split squat, normal, looks like this. If you don't have a chair or a bench, you're going to follow along just with your foot on the floor. Even if you have a stair or something, little elevation, that will work as well, okay? But like this, if you don't have something like this. What we're going to do is sit down and pulse 1, 2, and stand up. That's 1 rep, okay? We're doing 10 of those. So we'll see how this feels body weight, and then we will potentially add some weight to this. Okay, so 2 of those, I think that was 3. Sorry, I was talking and doing my reps. So we go down 1, and then 2, and then we'll stand up to the top. Okay, so we'll get that going on. 10 reps total of that on one side, and then we will switch and do 10 reps on the other side. Okay, so ideally we're hitting that 90-degree angle at our knee here, unless we have some reason why we shouldn't sit that low, whether it's a pre-existing injury or maybe just sensitive knees. Okay, but the majority of us should be getting down here. That pulse is coming up about a quarter of the way, and then we sit back down. Now that pulse, if you want to make this a little bit harder right off the bat, we can make that guy a little bit bigger, coming up higher between each pulse, kind of like this, rather than just down here like this. Okay, so hopefully you saw the difference there. Anyhow, one way or another, this one most likely is going to burn and be quite challenging. But like I said, we will have an option to add some weight to this. So I want you to think about that right now. You're doing a set, okay? Yes. Now, before we go into our next set of the split squats, we are going to be pairing this one with a hip thrust. So that's another one that's going to incorporate this chair. I'm going to put my upper back on the chair, and today we will be having a band around our knees. If you have a loop band, bring them out, bring them out. We're going to put it on right above our knees like this, and this is a medium strength one. You can use medium to strong. If you have really light ones, you can put 2 on to make it a bit stronger as well. And another thing that we can add is weights on our hips, which I am going to do because I want to make this hard for myself, okay? We're sticking with a lower rep range, so we're having all of the resistance. Now from here, I'm going to lower myself down like this, so my upper back is on my chair. And I want a nice strong core. I'll do a bit of that crunch before I start. Knees are being pushed out the entire time. We'll go up to the top here, down through that full range, working with 10 reps total. And we make this harder by holding at the top. So I don't want you to leave the top here until you feel some work happening in your glutes. Okay, so you might feel it right away. So that means you don't have to stay. But if you don't feel it, then stay here. Okay, and think about it. And if you need to close your eyes and really just focus on what you're feeling back there, 10 reps total. Okay, once we're done, we're doing it again. Okay, but we do have some rests in between these two because we have some similar muscle groups working here, aka your glutes, which you're probably feeling, okay, by the end of that set. So we will unband. Woo! Take about 30 to 45 seconds of rest right here. Again, we can grab some water. If you feel like that was, not the most challenging thing in the world, you can go right into your next set, okay? You have 3 more sets to go here. If you felt right now, if you're feeling a little antsy, like you're ready to get started on your next set, then we'll start it here, and just keep in mind that you should not be feeling that way on your next 3 sets, okay? So first set, we probably did not add weight. If you are going to add weight, I would prefer you to hold the weight on one side, either 1 or 2 dumbbells on one side like this, rather than 1 in each hand. We're doing that so we can get the core benefit of you holding weight on one side. So when you're holding something on one side, it wants you to go like this. So you have to use everything in here just to stay upright like this. And if I'm holding weights evenly, then that doesn't apply, okay? So that's why we want to load up on one side, and then we're going to be having that working leg be the opposite of the weight hand, okay? So the front leg and then the weight hand here, and we'll go through that split squat. Trying to find my words. Okay, so we'll go through that pulse, and the hand that's not holding the weight is out and strong, and we have 10 of these total, and that's 2 pulses. I'm all over the place. There we go. Okay, so we're going through 10 of these, 2 pulses at the bottom, 10 of them. Woo! Okay, let's get it. So if you have not started that second set, now is your time to shine. We'll get it going here. So those of you who have a band, you're gonna get that same work in your core. We can anchor that band underneath our opposite foot like so, and you can go through your same pulses, 2 of them, okay, with or without the band. burning legs. 10, I know, okay. It's funny, that one, a little weight goes a long way. You really do not need a lot. You'll probably learn that the hard way, okay? So we want those reps to be very challenging, but still manageable. So if you feel like you pick something so heavy that you cannot do them that well anymore, then maybe lighten up that load a little bit and do the full range. All right, so second round of our 2. So same rules apply if you don't have the chair, the bench, whatever it is for the hip thrusts. You can do the same thing off of the floor. This is also a great option for those of you who don't really feel your glutes. If you're doing this hip thrust and you feel a lot of work in your quads, you're not. This is something that really does help fix that. For most people, it's a lot easier to, at least, because when we're laying on our back here, that core activation that I talked about is really important when it comes down to feeling your glutes. And it's very hard to do up there, and it's a lot easier to do down here. All you have to do is push your back into the floor, like we do in all of our core work, and then you can go through your set, keeping that same kind of back down feeling here. You're going to feel more in here because we're not kind of hiking our ribs up like this and getting work in our quads and our low back, okay? So if you are feeling not so much in your glutes, you're feeling it in other places, you can come down here on the floor. You can even bring your weights, put them on your hips, okay, band, whatever it is, and focus more on feeling the back side, because that's important. All right, so we'll take a rest, again, 30 to 45 seconds of that rest, where we are just resting. Okay, we need it on the second set. You're probably feeling a lot more worked than your first set, which is good news. That is what we wanted. We have 2 more to go, 2 more rounds of these 2, and then we are moving on. Okay. So, second, last set, and we'll take our rest here. When we are feeling ready, we will go into that 3rd round of our double pulsing split squats. We go down 2 pulses and then stand up to the top. Okay, 10 of those. Very nice. Alrighty, perfect. Yeah, plugged in. Okay, 3rd set. Alright, so 10 and 10. Very nice. Yes, take your time with them. Okay, like anything else. And I mean, you definitely will feel it on this one. The slower you go, the harder that this is going to be. Yes. And that being said, I do not want you to go any faster than 2 seconds and 2 seconds when you're going up and down. Okay, we'll try our best to keep that controlled, even though it burns so much. Okay, but you are almost done. Almost. We finish that set, get these hip thrusts, and then we have 1 more round, and then we will be done with these ones. Okay. There it is. All right. So set number 3, finishing up those hip thrusts and trying to keep that strong core connection, tension out on the knees the whole time, coming up to the top, working with a pelvic tilt at the top. So when we're up here, we want to think about taking our pelvis and driving it under, so the bottom of the pelvis is scooping up towards your face like this, rather than just keeping it in one place. We want to really try to tilt it under and see if we can get that going on in this last set. 10 reps, okay? Feel in every single one of those. They all count, and if you don't feel your glutes, well then don't count the rep, okay? 10 of them. We have 1 more set after this. Woohoo! All right, but before you get there, before you start it, take a little bit of rest. Grab some H2O, okay? Think about how good you're feeling. Woohoo! This is the last leg, completely leg-focused session of the year, so yay, that's good news. All right, so we'll rest. Woo! We have one last set. This is the last round, last set of split squats. For today, for the week, for the year, say that all week. Feels so nice. Feels very weird though. Okay, so last round of these in whatever weight you're using, keeping our core nice and strong here, going through those pulses, trying to see if we can really challenge ourselves, going a little slower than we want to. Okay, still going standing all the way up to the top, full range, last set. Okay. Yes, 2. You've got it going on. Okay, final set of them. I know how you're feeling right now. Okay, this is the kind of feeling that you can work through, you can push through, and oftentimes you just need a little exhale to help get you through that sticking point, that hard point of the rep, and you'll be able to surprise yourself and finish your set. Get those last few in that you maybe didn't think that you could do. Sometimes we just gotta force ourselves a little bit. All right, final sets. 10 over here. We'll switch. We'll try to keep it as even as possible. Okay, so whatever you did on the first side, you're going to want to just get it done. I know you're going to want to just, rush through it and finish up, but we'll try our best to keep it as even as we can here on this last set. Okay, so we have those nice, strong pulses. Oh, yes. Very nice. Okay, nice work. Last set of our hip thrusts, 10 of them, and then we are going to rest and move on. Moving on. Okay, this is it, you guys. Last set of these hip thrusts, 10 of them. Again, very important. You're feeling all of those. Okay, so take your time. We have just about a minute, just under a minute. Actually, we are there for time, but that's okay. I want you to finish this set. Woohoo! And then we have one more part to the leg strength before we get to just lay on the floor and work our core. I always say that like it's so relaxing, but it's not ever really relaxing. Okay, so once you are finished, you can grab some water, walk it off. We are finishing off with a strength circuit. We have 3 movements that we're going to be going circuit style, which means there is no rest between each exercise or between each round. We're just going to give her 4 sets total. We have movements that we're going to go through. First one, back in our hip thrusting position is our single leg hip thrust. Today, we're doing these ones a little differently than we normally do them. Normally, we go like this, and we go like this, and we tuck this knee in like so, and we drive the hips up going through that hip thrust. Today, we're going to get some core work. We're going to get those abs going. So rather than having this knee up like this, I'm going to extend it straight out like this. Okay, and then the entire time, whoop, I'm trying to keep these legs in line. You can see it's a little easier said than done, okay? And we're going through 10 of these on this side, and then we'll switch, and we'll do 10 on this side. Now, this one is way harder than it looks, okay? So I want you to try it up here, and if you feel like you can't quite get it going on, we can do this one down on the floor. So come here, let's start this one, and then I will show you the other 2 after you're finished your first set of these ones. Okay, let's do it. So again, straight leg, we want to push up to the top, pushing our lower back into the floor, trying to get that same core connection going on that chair, and we'll go through 10, and then 10. Again, floor option is for those of you who have a bench or who can't quite get the hips all the way up to the top, okay? So let's do it, 10 and 10. Woo! Okay, so again, legs should be straight, thighs in line. So look down and make sure your leg's not lifting, but it is, yes, down there. You got it. Okay, so once we are finished that one, we are going to grab onto our dumbbells and our band. Okay, so taking this band, putting it around our heels, our ankles. So we're going to keep it low for this set. And then we're grabbing onto those dumbbells like this, holding them front-loaded position. Feet are going to be more narrow than our squat stance. I'm going to step out into the squat stance and then squat, and then this one comes in, and then I go back out and squat, and then this one comes in. So we're going through 20 squats total, where I'm trying to, a little bit more room in front of me, keep tension. I'm stepping out against this band into the squat, and then I step in, and then this one goes out into the squat. So the whole time I'm pushing my knees out, as I always do in a squat, and we're going through these guys, 20 total. Let's do it. Now, for those of you who don't have weights, and or if you want, again, a bit more work in your glutes, we can have a second band around our knees where we have them in the hip thrust and such, and it's going to make it a lot harder on those hips. Okay, let's do it. So step in and step out. So we're getting work on the hips as we're stepping against that band. You got it, 20 of them. Okay. Whew. Now this is where it's going to get a little bit serious. Now once you're finished that, we can put those weights down, keep the band on. We're coming over to one side of the mat. We're going into the soft knees, hip hinge position. I step wider, hip width. Oh yeah, so we're going into these side steps now, down the length of our mat 2 times. So I never want to allow my feet to come closer than this position. Because if I do, I lose tension on the band, and I don't want that. So we want wider hip width, wider hip width. And the whole time, sticking out the butt. Okay, we're in this athletic kind of forward position, and 2 times there and back is 1. Okay, you have to do that twice. Woo! Okay, there it is. Now once you're done, we're doing it again. Okay, so we're back into those hip thrusts, 10 and 10 with that straight leg situation. Now for most of us, this is going to be quite challenging. Just simply finding this position, keeping that leg from going up into the air like this. We want to keep it down, keeping that strong core. You do want to make this a bit harder. We take this leg, we move it away. Okay, so you guys see I'm kind of kicking it out to the side like this. And if I hold it out there the whole time, that's one more way just to make this feel a lot more challenging. I can't say a little bit because it really does crank it up a notch, okay? Like 3 or 4 notches. All right, so let's get it 10 and 10. Woohoo! Hip thrusts. Very nice. Okay, so check that leg. Make sure it's staying down in that sort of uncomfortable position. Working the core and the hips. Very nice. Okay. So moving on to our second set. These ones, now like I said, if you have a second band, or if you don't have weights, or if you just want more work in the hips, okay. Having this band on here around my knees as I step out now, the knees want to be pulled in. So I have to just, again, use my hips that much more to keep those knees apart. So great option if you don't have dumbbells. Woo! Bar and legs. Very nice. Okay, let's get it. 20. Trying to kind of slow it down a little bit. There you go. Should put that guy on. All right, 20 of them. I'll do the squats to finish off our leg work. Okay, so again, moving on to that last one here, coming over to one side of the mat, hinging those hips. Arms can stay in front of us here, and we'll work through that side step, wider hip width, all the way down. And then we go back. Now, your body is always looking for ways to make things easier, and it just will do things without you even being aware that they're happening in order to make things feel easier. And so in this one, what usually happens is we start to open up our feet, which will make us use the thigh muscles in front of the hips to help out your glutes. So we want to make sure that's not happening. Okay, so look down, parallel feet. If you do want to make it even a bit more challenging, you can slightly aim your toes inward together, which is going to put your hip in a weaker position. So it's going to make it feel a lot harder, and you'll get more work in that glute. You have slight pigeon toe, okay, or parallel, but we want to highly avoid having those toes go out like this. Okay, it's okay in our squats, but not when we're working this side step specifically. All right, so we have 2 more sets. How are we doing for time? So good. Okay, so you guys have, last part takes us about 10 minutes. So we have about 5 more to do this, okay? Back hip thrusts. Oh yeah, hip thrusts. Single ones, the hard ones, okay? With that leg straightened out. 10 and 10. See how those feel on this 3rd set. We'll try to keep them as even as we can as per the first 2. There you go. Okay. There it is. All right. So we'll work with those step out squats. So for those of you who don't have glute bands, I know I'm a little late here, this is your 3rd set, but a couple ways that you can do both the squats and the side steps is you can use your long bands like this and just hold them in front of you like so for the squats. And then for the side steps, and hold it in the same X off position. You can do this with long bands with handles or the long bands with the loops. And this one's kind of thin. You see, I have it crossed off. And then now it's adding that resistance just as that loop band would do if you don't have a loop band, okay? All right, so second, last set, you have 2 more. 4 total, wherever you are. But you got just under 5 minutes to finish up. Okay. So on to, again, those step out squats. We're resetting the foot, stepping out the opposite one so that we don't end up kind of traveling and only doing one foot. 20 of them, all of the squats, sneaking them in there. Okay, so we have our side steps. Okay, they are starting to catch up to us. Most likely feeling lots of work in the hips, playing the glutes, the back of the legs. We'll go through our second last set and trying our best to go right into our final one. Woohoo! Little to no rest. Oh yeah, for the glutes. Okay, so final set, my friends, this is it. The last one of these 3, starting back with our single leg core focus hip thrust. Okay, so we'll try to see if we can really get this going on here. And we want to bring our ribs and our pelvis together. So we're doing a bit of that crunch right off the bat here. You should feel some action going on in your core. And then we extend that leg. You're going to feel this leg. You're going to feel this hip. So we go through, and then now we're going to feel our core a lot as well because we're trying to pull it in the whole time. So we'll get that here on this final set. 10, woohoo, and 10. Let's get it. Okay, last round. I know this one's hard, okay? But you are getting so good at these single leg hip thrusts. So we are going to be doing stuff to challenge them, starting with these today. Okay, but there's a lower rep range, which is nice. Let's get it. Final round. Okay. So last set of our squats. I'll give you about 2 more minutes to finish up. We have to literally start our last part in less than 3. So 3, where did I put my timer? There it is. I'll just put it down in weird spots. Okay, yes. 10 minutes for the last part. Okay, so I will give you guys, again, just about a minute left here. Oh, yes, good job. So if you are finishing up, you can just grab yourself some water. Well, because you didn't have any time to do that for that in that last circuit there, so take your time right now. I'm just going to make sure our timer is set. Okay, so 40 seconds. So, final part, my friends. Here we are. This is it. Last part, which is all down on the floor, working off this timer that is finally set. Okay, so finish up here. Once you're done, grab some water. After you're done grabbing water, we will clear our space here because that is all that we need for this final part here, which is down on the floor, and it's staying down on the floor, okay? So I'm going to move my chair out of the way. And I'm going to move my weights and my bands because we are going to be going body weight for this core today. All right. The other thing I'm going to do is literally move us down. There we go. This table, you guys should see this table behind me. It is just full of stuff. Full of things. Okay, so we are good and we are down. Okay, so come on down here once you are finished. That last part, oh, hopefully you feel good. Hopefully your legs feel worked in the best way possible. We are finishing off with this final part. It's going to take us 10 minutes exactly, so we're going to get started here in the next minute. I'm going to show you guys the first exercise on right now, and then I'll start the timer, and then we have 10-second intervals between each 40-second work round, which I will show you the next 2 movements, because there are 3 of them, and we have 4 sets total, okay? So let's start off with this first one, which is on our back, so come on down here. We're going to be working with our knee elbow crunches. So we want to get ourselves almost into this dead bug position. Low back into the floor, very important that it's tight. Hands are going to come back behind our neck here, and we'll give a little bit of support with our fingertips on the back of our head. We're going to take a big inhale, and then exhale and try to bring our knees and elbows together. And then inhale and lower down our legs until we feel challenged. So some of us might touch the floor, others might stop up here. But we want to feel challenged, and then we come back up and try to bring those 2 together. So I'm going to press start on here so we don't waste no reps. Ready, set, and here we go. Okay, so let's do it. Now, you definitely don't have to make that contact. Some of us will never be able to, okay, just because the length of our limbs, the way our body's made, that's completely fine. But we want to go in that direction so much that our shoulder blades are coming off the floor at each rep, okay? So we'll try to go in that direction, lead with the elbows, but not lose our head in our elbows. We want to keep those elbows open slightly. Okay, 10 more seconds left. Woohoo! Let's get it. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now, like I said, we only have 10 seconds, and it's really not rest. It's really just transition time. Okay, the next one, lifting the legs up, triangle in the hands. We're going to reach the arms back, and then similar, exhaling, shoulder blades leave the floor. This time, legs are going to stay still, and we're really trying to focus on your ab muscles, the ones that kind of sit in the upper abs. That's where we should feel this one as we're lifting our shoulder blades off the floor. So again, exhale, touching the floor with the hands, exhaling up, trying to keep the arms above the head the whole time. Okay, so let's do it. Same with this one, we do not need to touch the toes. I call this one the toe touch, but most of us are never going to touch our toes because we have to keep our legs straight. 3, 2, and time. Okay, so flip over. Last one we're doing is in a full plank position. I'm talking full plank on our hands and our feet. And what we're going to do is try to lift up our opposite arm and our opposite leg. Oh, yes, let's go. So we're lifting opposite limbs, okay? And a little easier said than done. If you need to start, you can start with just the legs, or you can start with just the arms, and then eventually add in both of them. We know in planking that the wider the feet are, the easier. So if you're really struggling with this one, widen up your feet a little bit, okay? The goal is to keep your body still and stable. 10 seconds left. Okay, so we'll try to really tighten it up. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. You probably were not expecting that one. That one's way harder than our average planks, which is why we're doing them. Okay, so second set, back here on our back. Get ready, and here we go. Second round. Blast in the abs. Let's do it. So again, exhaling, inhaling down, exhaling up. Now, if you need to make this one a bit easier, you can even leave the legs still. Kind of similar to how that one, we don't move the legs. You can just have those shoulder blades moving, trying to move them off the floor every rep. 15 seconds left. Oh, yes. Okay, so lower back tight into the floor. It is crucial. 3, 2, 1. And again, you can just rest those legs for a quick second, 5 seconds. Lift them back up, straighten them out. Here we go. So triangles in the hands, hands together, straight arms, and we crunch those shoulder blades off the floor. There they are. Okay, so now you should be really starting to feel that feeling in your abs and your core, especially with this combination specifically with this time format. Okay, there's not a lot of rest here. We have 10 more seconds left on this one. 3, 2, 1, and flip over, because that is all that you have time to do into that full plank position. Getting ready to start. 3, 2, and here we go. Woo! Okay, so usually with these ones, you need a few reps to kind of find your balance, find your stability, okay? I find personally that, I don't want to say they get easier as they go, but your body kind of figures out what's going on as you go. You'll feel maybe a bit more stable, a bit more in control. But you really have to think about it, okay? You really have to slow it down and not allow yourself to just be flailing all over the place, all right? 10 more seconds left. You're going to get way more out of a nice, strong, stable lift over 10 crazy ones, okay? 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest, okay? Second last set, third one, which means we are 5 minutes and then we are done. Okay, here we go. So again, we'll try to work with whatever we got going on here. Lowering the legs, lifting them up. Maybe you don't lower them, that's okay. Okay, we'll try to use our breath, get our back tight into the floor throughout this entire exercise. This one and the next one. There should be no space under here. Maybe only for that like 10 seconds in between. But right now, just tight down there, as tight as you can make it. Okay, 5 more seconds. And rest. Nice work. Okay, but don't get too excited about resting, because you are going to lift up those legs and start those toe touches. Let's go. Let's do it. So exhale as we go up. We'll try our best to keep those legs as straight as possible. The straightness of your legs really comes down to your mobility of your hamstrings, how flexible you are in the back of your legs here. We want to try to keep our legs straight, but it shouldn't be uncomfortable or painful in doing so. And if you need to have your legs like down here to keep them straight, it might make this exercise too challenging. So you might have a bit of a bend here, and then we'll eventually just work on getting those legs straighter. And time. Okay, flip over the plank lifts. Oh yeah. All right, and then we have one more set, And then we're done. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, here we go. Plank position. When in doubt, I at least need all of us to be holding a plank. Okay, so if you're not lifting, if you tried both limbs and it did not happen, maybe you tried just your leg, still didn't really happen, just hold your plank. Throw in a lift here or there if you can. We have 20 seconds left here. And we'll try to keep everything stable. Before you lift your arm and leg, try to tighten up. Keep that tight feeling as you lift. And do that every rep. 10 more seconds left. Before you know it, you'll be done because you're thinking about it. You're distracting yourself. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, final set. Flip over. This is the one. Okay, this is the most important one. The one that you don't really want to do. Your body doesn't really want to do it, your mind. But we are going to do it anyways. Okay, we're going to feel so good after we do. Maybe not during, right? But this is all good stuff here. This is core work. This is ab work. It's going to help everything in your midsection be stronger, which is going to help you stay safer. So many good reasons for you to do this right now. Okay, 20 seconds left. And you're here, all right? So let's just get it in, finishing as strong as we can, wherever you are. 10 seconds left. It's like 3 more reps. You can do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Deep breaths, my friends, because that's what you're going to need to get through this one. Okay, lift up those legs, and here we go. Arms up, legs up, let's go. Shoulder blades leaving the floor every single time you lift up. Tuck our chin in here. 30 seconds left. Core, abs, burner. You're feeling it right now. I know you are. You got 20 seconds left for you to feel this. Okay, we get about 5 more reps, and nice and slow, nice and strong on the way up. 10 seconds left. So close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Flip over. Best for last. This one is definitely the hardest one, I think, at least. Okay, and we're going to finish with it in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. So we'll lift. Those of you who want to challenge yourself a bit on this last set, if you find this was a little bit easy, we can hold at the top. Woo! Rather than just lift and leave. And it's going to be a lot harder, but you don't have to do it, okay? Because maybe you're just even struggling to get it done. Standard lifting up, because this one is really hard, okay? But you got this. 15 seconds left, and you are done here. Done this one. Done all of them for today. 10 more seconds, okay? Breathe through these. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you are all done. Amazing work. Okay, so we're going to go right into a couple of stretches because they're going to feel really good after doing all that stuff. The first one is this cat-cow situation. So you can go through as many reps, maybe 3 to 5 of these, rounding our back like this, tucking in our chin, arching our back, feeling our abs open up. We can do this, again, taking our time with it, 3 to 5 times. It really comes down to how many times you want to do it. It just feels nice. And then when you feel like you're done this one, sit on our heels, walk our fingertips away, and we'll go into this child's pose one, which is a great stretch for our lower back, our hips, and our upper back as well, the back of our shoulder area here. And we'll hold this here about 30 seconds to a minute. While you guys are holding this, I'm going to show you 2 more stretches that I would like you to do. Hip flexors. You probably saw this coming. So hip flexors will, again, feel really good after all of that work we did, because lots of the exercises we did incorporated the hips and the hip flexors in the front here. So we will take some time. Again, this half kneeling one, I like this one. It's comfortable. You can just kind of sit in it, hold on to something. If you don't like kneeling as much, you can always go up into your standing one. My head's a little cut off, but you can go into this one instead. Really just, again, comes down to comfort. But we will try our best to hold this for 60 seconds at least, okay? So once you've done that child's pose, come on up here and get this hip flexor stretch going on. This one is very important. The other one that we should absolutely stretch out is our back side. Now, last day I talked about 2 different stretches, or last week rather, on different days. The first one was this glute stretch. Yes. Okay, so this one, I'm reaching through this leg, pulling it in. Feels very nice. That's going to give us a nice stretch through this glute and this leg over here. Same stretch, just in a different way, is this one. Okay, so we've been talking recently about this one. This one is not so good for those of you who have sensitive knees, just of the dynamic of this one, the way we're sitting on our knee. So you can just flip back onto that other one I showed you. But this is a really great stretch because we're getting the glute on this side. We're also getting the hip over here, and gravity is doing its thing to help us get that stretch in. So pick your poison, holding both sides for at least a minute on both of these. And as per usual, my friends, feel free to do more than one set. Scooch in here. But you guys are done with me. Thank you so much. Thanks, Allison Darcy, for joining me in the Zoom room. You guys rock. And if you watch the replay, please drop a comment so I know you were here. Have a great day, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, have a good one. Bye.